and we're back for another episode review of Titans Series 2, Episode 5. The title of this episode is called Deathstroke. In my opinion, I think this is the best episode so far of Series 2. Yeah, I like the first episode of the series, but I don't think I count it be part of Series 2. Yeah, the episode is just like get Series 2 on a good start, but at the same time, it's just wrapping up the events of Series 1. But this episode is the best episode so far of Series 2 of the show. I think this is way better than the previous episode, the Aqualad episode. I heard people like that episode, but for me, I think that was the worst episode. Not worst episode, but the weakest episode so far of Series 2. I like the events of Gareth and Donna. That's the whole story of the previous episode. Yeah, and yeah, it was disappointing how Gareth got killed by Slade, but it just showcased that Slade is dangerous. But I like the thing between Gareth and Donna, but I think that episode was uncompleted. I feel like it was rushed, not really fleshed out. But anyway, yeah, let's talk about this episode. This is a continuation from the Ghost episode. I just don't understand why they call it Ghost. I wish they call it something else. I'm talking about episode 3 of series 2, but anyway, so we got like a shock death. We got self-proclaimed a cliffhanger. I don't really call it a cliffhanger, but there's a lot to talk about this episode. So anyway, so I like the funny dialogue. I just really like the show's dialogue. They always do like good dialogue, funny dialogues. With Jason kind of like tormenting and was it interrogating Dr. Light about did your parents, what was it? Did you come up with that shit by himself? Basically, did you come up with that name, or did your parents study that bullshit? That's a lame fucking name, and he's just interpreted. Yeah, he thought like, oh, he's escaping. He choked out Dr. Light, but instead Deathstroke raised his samurai sword, leaving so soon. But yeah, he ended up like torturing Jason, like basically took out his track keeper, like, yeah, he's got like that tracker keeper on his arm, and then I think like calling Dick and the original Titan says, "I got you, Psykid," and Jason says, "Who the fuck you call a Psykid?" and punch multiple punches. Hank in this so far in this series 2, you can tell they're trying to make Alan Ritchson more of a like give him more of a try to be like the soft side, like trying to make him cry, but it's not really working out. Like you can tell like he feels sorry. He doesn't want Jason to get killed by this guy. He had this heart to heart moment with him and Dawn. Yeah, Dawn. Dawn. Sorry, Dawn. Like Dawn. My apologies, but him and Dawn had this heart to heart moment. Like I think like Hank says, it feels like the coach was it sitting down alone, praying that everyone's going to help, but they don't. I don't know. I was I joke, but I don't want to see something wrong. I think he says I don't want something wrong with that asshole, that little asshole, referring to Jason's. I think what he's referring to, I don't want him something happen to run with Jason. That's Hank Ponty said. I think he wants. I think I think he kind of blames Jason for he didn't really meant to do this. He's just basically in the first episode of this series. He's just shouted like the Titans back, bitches, woo, and he didn't like basically name dropped Deathstroke Slade's name, but anyway, but you can tell like so far like this series, you can tell like the original Titans and the current Titans, they're basically clashing heads. Like they go each other's throats. Like in this episode, you had like Rachel and Gara kind of like went at each other's throats. Said about like I think it's said about keeping this is like aftermath from the third episode of this series about like Jason getting kidnapped. I think like Rachel says about like I can help you if you do not you and Jason walk away. I can't remember the dialogue. I think like Garth says, you don't keep secrets at me. You said about like he said about referring to the events from I think it was episode I think it was episode 3. When Rachel grabs not Gar Jason by the neck. Her can't control her powers. Like said about he's bring up like the black clouds with razor claws nearly took my hand off. He didn't really took his hand off. Like in this scene, you had Rachel falling asleep, and then Gar trying to wake her up, and she got her powers kind of slicked Gar in the wrist. Said about like claw razor marks around her back. In the latest scene of this episode, you had Rachel showing Corey the marks. So I think I think what I'm gonna go back to the line says like Rachel said to Corey, I could help if you not keep it a secret, and you're the one who not actually I'm gonna move on. Otherwise, I had it. It's been 2 days since I watched that episode. Preparation for this review. So basically said about I think like it's all about Rachel can't control her powers. What Gar say, and I don't know. Sorry about my line. I'm trying to remember the lines. Sometimes I'm gonna reveal what they're saying, otherwise it drives me nuts. But anyway, so I'm guessing like you can tell like said about like screw it's like screw you. You can tell like for the first time since they met Rachel and Garth kind of like argue. Anyway, so so anyway I like the banter. I don't really a banter. You basically had Rose taking the piss out of Gar. Said about like do you have any cereal without any old people who eats wheaty bits. Said about like basically I think he said like Jason might be burned for the Chris, you not help, and that's Garth saying Rose says how you and your girlfriend with that computer. First off, Garth says she's not my girlfriend. You don't like her, or she don't like you. And I think he said like she ends this segment says, "You won't mind. I'm hamming out. What was it? Hammer out with this cinnamon bite. Was it cinnamon bites? Was it cinnamon bits? I don't know what they are. He had the guard basically like that grunt. He didn't really say it in an anger. I think it's like he's basically like Rose trying to like interpret, play mind games. My gut feeling, sorry about the dialogue, by the way. Every time, it's hard to review the line. You try to remember the lines, you end up fucking up. But I'm gonna want in future reviews, whether it's in movies and TV shows, I'm just gonna review what they're saying. So, I think she said like you don't mind if you excuse me. I'm gonna eat my what's it called cinnamon bites, at peace and something like that. So anyway, moving on. So anyway, and also also got another heart to heart moment. We'll get to that sharp death shortly, but anyway, so not shortly, but later on. But anyway, so we got another heart to heart moment between Rachel and Corey about like she can't control her powers. Like she says about like I think like what she's referring to, she's turning into her dad, Trigon. Corey had some good points. Said about like I think Corey says, we make our choices to define our destiny. Trigon choose darkness, and I think like Rachel says, my prophecy, I destroyed the world or saved the world. And I think she has a good point, Corey says to Rachel, because Rachel did save the world in in the first episode of the second series. Without Rachel, I think this world would be destroyed. I feel like what Rachel's referring, she's turning into her dad. I don't want to see Trigon coming back in the second series. I hope not, because I feel like what's the point? Basically wrapping up the events of series one. Why can't it be a continuation from series one? I simply don't get it. But I think my gut feeling they're going to do this whole Dark Phoenix. Some people compare Rachel Roth to Jean Grey. She's kind of like the Jean Grey of this show. They're both similar. They both can't control their powers. I don't think they're going that direction now. I don't know, man. Like, I heard like these X-Men movies, they're going in that Dark Phoenix path. Direction. It's the same thing, by the way. It just doesn't work. X-Men Last Man sucks. Last Stand, sorry. X-Men Last Stand sucks, and X-Men Dark Phoenix sucked. Anyway, I don't think they're going in that direction. But I think Rachel is going to control her powers. Killing her. If they kill her off, that would be like so retarded. Yeah, it would be completely goddamn retarded if you killed your. Basically, she's kind of like the MVP of series one. I don't know who is the MVP of series two. So anyway, we got a shock death. We got a shock death of this episode. Nice Dr. Light. You had like Dick, Donna, Hank trying to find Jason, and they found, basically Dick found like the camera. When Slade and Light basically watching, and Dick found it, and you can tell like, oh, all our plans going down the fucking, was a 4-month plan going down the shits. Sorry, I think he's referring to plans going down the shitter. Deathstroke is just basically just doesn't give it. It doesn't really give a fuck. You can tell like it takes some time. It's slowly like working. And he said, yeah, I think he said about like our shit's going down the toilet, something like that. But he said like I think it like he kind of went a bit of a low blow. Says you let your daughter join the Titans. You lost focus. And Slade says, I'll provide. If you want results, I'm happy to provide one. And then he just, fuck it, I'm gonna take care of the. I said about like Light says, kill those masks. I don't know what he's referring to. Look, I don't know what they refer to masks. I feel like they're wearing masks. Donna's not wearing masks. She doesn't wear a mask. You got like. Dick used to wear the mask. She used to be the former Robin. Hank and Dawn wasn't wearing masks, so I don't know what like mean about killing masks. So he said like Asta was a adios fucking migo, and he was trying to leave the I think it was a warehouse, and basically you had basically a Light trying to work his car. I think he was there was a radio in the background. I think it was Nickelback, and I can't remember the song. It's the old Monday Night Raw theme, and then also in Slade just shot him in the head. It's like, holy shit, they shot him in the head. He killed him. He killed him that soon. I think that Light, I think it was a bit too soon. I knew Light is gonna get his comeuppance, but I think it's too soon. But they killed him like just 5 episodes. Actually 4 episodes, because like I said, the first episode of this series is just wrapping up the events of series 1. But I think they should have let him flesh out the character, but they didn't. He's just like got shot in the head, and that's it. And I feel like this is deja vu to me. Like in the last series of the show, the nuclear family got killed. They're basically the co-villains of series 1, because the main villain is Trigon. In this series, the main villain is Slade, and Dr. Light is now the co-villain. I think again, I heard the Tamaranians are going to invade. I haven't seen that episode yet. I think that's the last or the second to last episode of the series. But Yeah, but Slade is the main villain, but yeah, I feel they missed. I don't know, it's a red herring, but it's just it's a twist, you know. I think Slade didn't he didn't really say. I'm guessing like, I don't really need you anymore. If you're not part of this, fine, fuck you, fuck it. After take care of the Titans by himself. I think with Slade's plan is basically have them like clash heads, break up, call the herd, basically divide them. It's typical divide and conquer type of thing. And it's slowly working, but yeah, shockingly shocked to see Light getting killed off. But anyway, so you can tell this episode focus on storytelling. I really like this. I really like series one's episodes. They focus on storytelling. This I get with this is a slow start because this focus on storytelling because one thing about not superheroes, but like in action movies, why action movies sucked. Why they never like do well in the silver screen. The one ingredient they're missing in today's action movies, there is not enough storytelling. It's too much of the action sequence in the whether it's the first or second act, but yeah, it's just lack of the it's just lack of the storytelling in whether it's the first or second act. It's just more of just rely on just the action sequence. So anyway, so so that was a shocker. I thought there was gonna be another shocker. Rose getting killed off. Like basically. And also Rachel had that type of like eyebrow raise in this episode. Like not the Rock's eyebrow raise, but like this cocky. It's more like a cocky eyebrow raise. Um, I feel like in this early scene of this episode between Gar and Rachel said about like Jason can fight. Jason's strong, he can fight back, or and Rachel says, or he's so annoying that Dr. Light let him go because he doesn't want him to talk. She has that cocky eyebrow raise. Sorry, eyebrow, eyebrow raise. Not the Rock's eyebrow raise, but like like a cocky one. This one line I don't understand why they put it in the script. So Gar says we need to bring him back. We should help and bring him back. And Rachel says we are helping, and Gar says no, we're not. We're watching coffee drip. And Rachel says brew. And it's like who put it in the script? It's just like what? But anyway, yeah, you can tell like with Gar in this episode. We'll get back to self-proclaimed teasing of Rose's death, but anyway, so you can tell like with Gary, you can tell he blamed him for this. You can tell like Jason is just felt. I think Dawn said like it's all our faults. Yeah, you can tell like Hank is just want to care about Jason. He didn't really want him killed. He said about like I joke. I don't want to see something happen to that little asshole. He didn't really call him a little asshole. He's basically like, I think we're getting future episodes. Hopefully, like we haven't like review. We got more episodes left to come in the second series of two reviews of the second series of Titans. Hopefully we get like there's some chemistry between what's his name, Corin Walters and Aaron Richardson. It'd be cool if they like had that like chemistry moments, like trading insults. That'd be fucking funny. But anyway, for Hank, you can tell like this. First they blames Dick for this. It's like you don't fucking idea to start up the Titans. He didn't really. I think it's just like with Dick. He like in the first series, he wants to get away from it, stop being Robin, but it's just always coming back because maybe he's gonna be Nightwing anyway. But yeah, let's get back to the Roses tease death. You can tell like they want to get Jason back. You have to bring Rose to Deathstroke. They don't want to. I mean, you can tell like I think it was Donna or Dawn. I think Dawn says we're turning all into monsters. I think they are turning into monsters. They're not like throwing blows. You can see like in, I think it was in episode, yeah, in the third episode, you can tell like Dick not like punching Jason, kind of throw Jason to the ground. You can tell like it's this Slade's plan's kind of working. Have them like clashing heads. It's kind of working in some degree. So anyway, so Rose basically interpret. Basically, there's a heel turn with Rose, man. I think this is gonna be a heel turn. By the way, these episodes reviews of Titans. They are spoiler free because I know it's like this. Like I know it's happened in 2019, but I haven't really seen all series 2, and I haven't really seen series 3 yet. So I just like I don't want people like give out the plots. Oh that guy's not dead and that person's not dead. Blah blah blah. But anyway, so yeah, I think like I think they're in the computer room. You had Rose says tired if you tired to be lying, and Rachel says what keeping you safe. Why keeping it in a dark room? And yeah, like kind of like eavesdropping what they're going to say. You had this fight scene between. Actually, with Hank, he's not really fighting. He's basically locked Rachel in a sleeper hold. In the put not in a headlock, but kind of in a sleeper hold position. And then she had that, and then when you get to Rachel, Rachel had that like I said, that cocky eyebrow raise. She didn't really say something. She just had that look. Said, "Really, you're gonna go past me?" And then you can tell her powers are not really. You can tell she can't control her new powers. I think like she said to Garth, like ever since my father, gave me this, my powers are differently. There's one funny line in this scene. Like Garth says to Rachel, like, "Can you do that thing, touching someone else's hands to find out what's going on?" And Rachel says, "I'm not a magic 8 ball." Yeah, her powers basically she actually attacked Rose, kind of throw her into the like slide. What was it, side of the wall, and she kind of like I don't think she was dead. She's basically heard like a crunch. You thought like, oh, she's dead. Her arms and legs are dislocated and mangled. She said like and then also go back to that scene between Rachel and Corey that people are was it destined to be special, decided to be. There's no good or bad. Can't remember remember most of it, but not so much of all part. But she said like I'm always be bad, but I don't think. I think she is going like. I don't think she's gonna like go. Oh, I'm gonna turn on the Titans, because I'm guessing they're trying to fulfill like the prophecies telling. I don't think it's. I think it's her trying to fulfill the prophecy to destroy the world. I don't think that, like I said, I don't think they're gonna go in that direction. I think I'm gonna say right now, so far in series 2, so far it's a slow start. It's started series 1. That's just wrapping up the events of series 1. But series 2 so far it's a slow start, But I think they're cramming too many storylines. I feel like with Spider-Man 4, I don't think Spider-Man 3 kind of sucked. I don't think it sucked in my opinion. But the one nitpick about Spider-Man 3 in this series, they're cramming too many storylines. You got Rachel with her powers. You got the stuff with Slade. You got like Corey and being the next in line. Part of Tamaran, the self-proclaimed Tamaran invasion. Yeah, this is too many stories. I feel like I don't know. I think the reason why I praise Series 1 well because they don't really cram a lot of storylines. They're just all about the whole goal is between Rachel and the formation of the new Titans. That's it. This is just too many stories. Too many stories. Jesus. Like I guarantee the Deathstroke story is the main plot of Series 2. I get like the minor plots. I get it. I seem to like get it. But anyway, the fight scene between teasing like Dick is gonna get killed by Deathstroke. Went to some construction site. But the fight scene with Corey and Dick. Corey, Dick, and Deathstroke. Slade. It was good. You know, that was the highlight point of this episode. Yeah, they, you know, you had this scene like, yeah, there's one moment like, yeah, Slade basically dropping an not an explosion, but kind of bomb. It doesn't make you blow up in pieces. It basically just makes you deaf and teasing like, oh, Jason getting killed off. You know, he's like the end. You had Jason falling off the building. You had this without any. It's just basically just completely silent without any heart beating or so doing like, you know, breathing. It's just completely just silent without just basically just without any noise. Yeah, Jason's not dead. I don't think he's dead because yeah, and I know like he's subsequently getting killed off in series 3. Yeah, he became Red Hood. Sorry, Red Hood. Sorry, Red Hood. That's you know, basically Jason Todd's alter ego. I don't know if they'll do what's it from the original Teen Titans show? Um, what's that what's it called? Red X is it called? Yeah, that was, I think it's called Red X in that original Teen Titans show. I'm guessing like Red X is basically the show's version of Red Hood, because yeah, they never told you that, oh, they introduced in Jason Todd, but I think I think like yeah, Red Hood is gonna be in it. You know, yeah, it's confirmed to be in it. You know, we haven't like talk about series 3. We'll talk about series 3 of the show in the future. But yeah, I don't think he's getting killed off. You know, it's just like he's looking. He's like the teasing like he's dead, but he's found a way to stay alive. So anyway, it was a good kind of like a cliffhanger. You know, the next episode is Connor. You know, that's the next episode review. So anyway, to wrap up this episode review of this show, yeah, it was. Oh, you know, it's a good show, good episode. So hope you enjoy this episode review of Titans. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Smash the like button, click the bell, click the like. Subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube. Be part of the Central Unit for more wrestling videos and more. And this is the Central Man officially signing out. Check you later, folks.